The battle for the City of Wheels. At dawn, the City of Wheels hummed like a chorus of engines. Delivery vans sang down the avenues, trams clinked past fountains, and the great roundabout in the center, the spinning wheel, turned with a soft mechanical heartbeat that kept the whole city on time. Children in bright jackets lined up at curbside stops, yawning into their backpacks as gulls swooped over the river. It was the sort of morning that promised nothing but normal. Tim and his little sister Lila were among the yawners, trading turns flying Tim's palm-sized drone, Peep. Their stop sat at the edge of the old rail yard, where retired engines glinted like tired whales. 2 minutes, Peep chirped through Tim's phone. Bus ETA. They heard it before they saw it, a warm rumble rising like a friendly laugh. Around the corner came the school bus, with bigger wheels than any bus had a right to wear, a grille shaped like a grin, and exhaust that shimmered like afternoon heat. It was their bus, the same one every day, but something about it felt awake. Then the tracks shuddered. The ground under the kids' sneakers buzzed as if a giant electric bee had flown beneath the city. From the mouth of the derelict tunnel, a pair of lights snapped open in the dark. They weren't lamps. They blinked. Metal groaned, rivets popped, and something with wheels and jaws clawed its way up from the rails. Train Eater, Lila whispered. She didn't know how she knew the name, only that it fit. The locomotive's nose was a mouth ringed in silver fangs. Its eyes were glowing portholes with pupils that narrowed when it tasted the air. The bus slammed its doors open all at once. On! Someone shouted. Maybe a teacher, maybe the bus itself, and the kids scrambled up the steps, Peep zipping after. As soon as Tim's foot hit the aisle, the doors shut, and the bus leapt away like a startled deer. The engine roared, and the tires left a smoldering print in the road. Behind them, the train eater howled and gave chase, chewing rails to sparks. Every road crossing exploded into splinters as it lunged across, jaws snapping for the bus's rear bumper. The city dissolved into a blur of traffic cones and rising sun. "Where's the driver?" Tim gasped. "Look," Lila said, pointing. The driver's seat was empty. The wheel turned itself. The dashboard lights pulsed like a heartbeat. The school bus was driving itself. It proved to be a guardian as much as a driver. Whenever the train eater pounced, the bus swerved smoother than any human could, skidding through gaps too narrow to believe, bouncing off curbs without losing speed. When the monster spat a shower of rivets, the bus tilted, letting the barrage clatter harmlessly off its underside. It used the whole city as a playground, alleys as shortcuts, loading ramps as launch pads, even a half-built overpass as a bridge that wasn't there yet. The children screamed and laughed and clung to the seats, not sure whether they were terrified or having the best ride of their lives. Sirens bloomed in their wake. Helicopters spun up. Traffic pylons marched like orange soldiers. But nothing on earth moved like the train eater, except the red streak that joined the chase at Riverside Drive. A sports car slid into the flow from a side street, bright as a rocket and smooth as a dolphin. Its engine sang a high, happy note, and its tires lit little halos of sparks with every drift. The kids knew that car from races on the big screens. The lightning car, champion of city circuits, king of hairpin turns, uncatchable, undefeatable, and apparently very interested in saving buses. The lightning car darted in close, flashed its lights at the bus like a wink, then gunned it straight at the train eater. At the last second, it flicked sideways and tapped the monster's chin. The impact rang like a gong. The train eater's bite snapped shut on empty air, and the bus pulled ahead. Who taught a car to box? Tim said, awed. Maybe it taught itself, Lila answered, because by now it seemed perfectly reasonable that machines had plans of their own. The city tried to help. Switch yards rerouted traffic. Bridges lowered early. The spinning wheel sped a little, then a little more, pumping urgency into every gear in town. Yet for all their hustle, the chase was only getting bigger. A cheerful whistle floated from the rail yard, and another shape rolled out. Blue paint, red stripe, big friendly face warped by a too-wide grin. Thomas, someone breathed, and then corrected themselves. No, Thomas, train eater. Where the first monster was a predator born in darkness, this one was a carnival gone wrong. Its eye lamps burned hot, its smile broke into saw teeth, and steam hissed from its stack like a dragon breathing through its nose. It wasn't hunting the bus. It was hunting a rival. The train eater hissed back, and two titans of track glared across converging rails. Bad timing, Peep said, as if machines had a sense of humor. Good, Tim said, thinking fast. If they want each other, let them chase each other. Bus, can you hear me? The bus horn answered, two bright notes. Take us to the wheel, Tim said. We can help there. The bus belted a third note and accelerated. The lightning car slipped behind, guarding the rear. The two train monsters shredded the city blocks to get in front, but the bus cut diagonally through the park, shot under a fountain like a whale through a wave, and popped out on a ramp that fed directly into the plaza of the spinning wheel. The wheel was older than the city and newer than sunrise. It was a roundabout, a clock, a stage. The whole traffic grid rotated onto it and around it, syncing the city's pulse. Today its chrome spokes glittered, and its center glowed a clean white. The bus blew straight up the ramp and skidded to a stop at the inner ring. Doors opened. Kids tumbled out, shepherded by teachers slapping attendance lists against their thighs. Basement, the bus chimed over the speakers in a voice like a kindly grandparent made of diesel. A metal hatch yawned at the wheel's hub. The teachers hustled the kids down into the shelter. Tim hung back, Peep hovering beside his ear. Go, Lila told him, eyes fierce. You're going to do something stupid and heroic. I'll make sure nobody panics. Deal, he said, and squeezed her hand hard. The lightning car drifted into the circle and stopped with theatrical precision. Its door popped open without a driver anywhere in sight. A strip of LEDs along the dashboard flashed like eyes blinking. The bus angled its mirrors toward Tim as if to say, Ready? On cue, the train eater burst into the plaza, rails buckling under its weight, jaw wide for the kill. Thomas Train Eater trundled in from the opposite side, whistles shrieking such gleeful menace that pigeons fainted in midair. Peep fed schematics to Tim's phone. The wheel's inner workings, the signal pylons that kept traffic moving, the emergency gyroscope buried under the plaza. If we spin the wheel counter to the rail gears, we can throw them off balance, Peep said. But someone has to anchor the trains, and someone has to build speed to charge the gyro heart. Someone, Tim repeated, and looked from bus to race car. The lightning car revved, a purring promise. The bus crouched on its shocks like a sprinter at the blocks. Okay, Tim said. Lightning, you run. Bus, you block. Peep and I handle the spin. Thomas charged first, steam howling. The bus met it head on. Rubber screamed, steel bit steel, but the bus didn't give. It shoved Thomas back a meter, then another, its tires carving twin trenches into the plaza's stone. The train eater lunged at the lightning car and got only tailwind for its trouble. The racer was already gone, blur red, orbit tight, faster, 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 drawing a bright ribbon around the wheel. Tim sprinted to the control plinth, Peep dragging diagrams in his wake like a comet's tail. He popped the panel and stared at the maze of brass and carbon fiber inside. "I can't reach the counter gear," he hissed. "It's under the gyro." "Not for me," Peep said, and dove into the gap with a cheerful bzzzt. Sparks spit. The wheel shuddered, then began to turn the other way, slowly at first, then with growing stubbornness. The trains stumbled. Thomas's whistle warbled, confused. The train-eater's rails ground into sparks that sprayed harmlessly in the wrong direction. "Faster!" Tim shouted to the lightning car. The racer obliged. Cyclone now, the air itself bending behind it. The gyroscope drank the motion greedily, light building in its core. The spinning wheel glowed. Thomas howled and surged. The bus's tires slipped, half an inch, and then bit again. The bus groaned. "You've got this," Tim said, palms pressed to the warm yellow flank. "You carried all of us every morning. One more block, big friend." The train-eater switched tactics. It snapped at Tim. In the blink between bite and goodbye, the lightning car slammed into the monster's teeth, not to knock them aside this time, but to wedge its own chassis between fangs. Metal shrieked. Tim felt the sound in his molars. The racer's LEDs winked. "Finish it!" "Peep!" Tim yelled. "Dump the charge!" The drone popped free, smoke trailing from its tiny propellers. The countergear locked. The gyroscope screamed, no sound at all, just pressure. And a dome of clean white rolled outward from the wheel like a shockwave that didn't break anything it touched. It passed through the bus and polished the yellow. It passed through Tim and left bravery humming in his bones. It hit the train-eater and Thomas train-eater and turned their momentum inside out. For a heartbeat, both monsters became what they had been. Not predators, vehicles. Their jaws relaxed into noses. Their eyes softened into lamps. The lightning car tumbled free and skidded to a smoking stop beside the bus. "Now!" Tim cried. Gates rose around the plaza, rails curling up like vines, stones rotating to reveal thick glass corridors leading down to a place the city didn't admit it possessed. The wheel spun once more, not to balance traffic, but to open a door. The trains rolled, dazed, into the bright tunnels. The gates folded shut like the lids of a jewelry box. Silence fell. Then it shattered under cheering. Teachers burst from the shelter. Kids swarmed the bus, hugging its bumper. Lila hit Tim at speed and nearly tackled him. "You did the stupid, heroic thing," she said into his shirt, laughing and crying at once. "Couldn't have without your calm," he said. "And Peep. And them." He tipped his chin at the bus and the lightning car. The racer's door flapped open and shut as if it were waving. The bus honked a shy little note. The city's sirens wound down. The wheel returned to its modest, ordinary turn, as if it had never been a lever between worlds.